Well, hello everybody, and this is Jonathan Ryerson Hotel, back behind the camera again, and happy Easter everybody. Today's date is April 9th, 2023, and this is a video that I've been meaning to make for a very long time, and this is another tutorial video, but a full tutorial video about a fire alarm system, how to wire it up, how to power it up, how to operate it, and everything else. So anyways, let's get started with the panel. So the panel that we're going to be wiring up today and how to make it work is, this one is a Notifier SFP-10UD 10-zone 4 NAC circuit to auxiliary output control panel. And this panel is very, very simple to wire up, and I just wanted to cover it all in this video as much as I can, but hopefully I won't make the video for too long, but I should go through every detail, how to wire it up, and everything else. But first things first, let's open it up and see what is inside. So the type of key for this panel that opens the door to it is a Notifier. It takes a Notifier key, the same key that the panel on my wall takes. It's the Notifier 17021 key. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. Whoops, I inserted it in the wrong way. Sorry, the lock's a little bit clunky, but there we go. Now let's open the cabinet door. As you can see, you got your 5 zones here, and your 10 and your 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 zones right here. And you have NAC 1, NAC 2, NAC 3, NAC 4, and you got 3 relays to wire up your smoke detectors as well. And you got 3 relays right here. One is for trouble, one is for alarm, and one is for supervisory relay. This right here is your main CPU controller right here with all the functionalities. You got your AC power, fire alarm LEDs, supervisory, alarm silence, and trouble. And the first thing we're going to do is, before we get started, I'm going to start off with the main power. So to power up this particular panel, you need a simple power cord with it stripped, with all of the wires and copper sticking out like this. And I know it's a little bit of a mess, but it still does get the job done. It is better to have some solid wiring, but not really stranded, but the stranded one seems to work okay. And the most important thing is, when you wire up a fire alarm system, you always need a grounded power cable. It's better to have a grounded power cable so your system stays protected when there's a surge in the system, which is an instantaneous spike in voltage. That way your system won't get fried if you have the ground cable plugged in, which is the green earth wire. So the 3 particular wires that you will see in this type of cable is the white, neutral, your black is the hot, and your green is the ground earth wire. So anyways, and before we wire it up, I'm going to show you the 3 simple devices that we're going to be wiring up in this panel. So I'm going to cut the video real quick. And the 3 devices that we're going to be using for this demonstration is a BG12 pull station, a Spectre Alert Classic horn strobe, and a System Sensor i3 2-wire smoke detector. And yes, I know this is a 2-wire smoke detector on the right, but this panel is compatible with 2-wire smoke detectors, even other 2-wire smoke detectors that are conventional. No addressable features required. And the reason why I'm choosing a Spectre Alert Classic, because I love Spectre Alert Classics a lot. I know some people like to use Advances, but... And just to give you give you some information about the panel's voltage output, this panel does put out filtered DC, which is no FWR in it, no humps in the voltage, and none of that. So you can use any alarm you want, as well as simplex mechanical horns and more. And including, you can always use a simplex true alert if you really wanted to. And don't worry, this panel does put out filter DC, so you can use a simplex true alert if you want, and don't worry, it will sound really, really clean. So that's what you want. So anyways, let's get started with wiring up this control panel by starting with the main electric. So here we go. So the first thing you want to do is make sure your grounded power cable is not plugged in, because you don't want to work with live electricity while you're working on the system. So the voltage input for the main power is right here with these 3 terminals. Leg 1 is neutral, your middle terminal G is ground, and your L2 is your hot. So we're gonna insert the cable through this knockout right here. Hopefully my head is not blocking the view so you guys can see where the wires will go. And now what you want to do is make sure your terminals are open so you can insert the wire underneath the screw real easily in the terminal tab. Okay, you got your neutral, which is in the top, which is the top terminal. We're going to go ahead and tighten it down. Whoops. Sorry guys about the technical difficulties, but stranded wire is not that fun to work with, but it's better to have solid wiring, but I really don't have any solid wires to go inside here. I don't have any power cables like that, but this one will have to do for now. Okay, it's all the way under. Good. And now we tighten it down like this. And then next we're going to take your green power ground cable and also plug it into this middle terminal right here. Make sure the wire is okay. Make sure it's twisted. And don't worry, it's not live because the power's not plugged in. So I can easily grab a hold of it with my fingers, and because you definitely do not want to touch live wires. And now we're going to connect our hot, which is the black wire. So anyways, let's go ahead and loosen up this terminal a little bit. And the most important thing is you got to make sure your terminals are nice and snug before you power this thing up, because if any of the wires come loose and if these wires touch each other, you will easily fry your panel, and you don't want that. Okay, now we're going to close the little flap door right here. Close the door that says warning electrical shock hazard. Okay, the flap door is closed. And next thing we're going to do is wire up the devices. And the next step we're going to do is wire our devices. And to do that, we're going to be using a Firelight Alarms pull station. And the particular model is Firelight BG12L, and we're going to wire it up. So here we go. So let's go ahead and wire it up. And remember, your black is your positive and your red is your negative. I know it's reversed. I'm not sure why the pull stations are designed like that, but it's just the way it is, guys. But we're going to go ahead and wire it up. But first things first, I need to strip this wire. And you want to take fire alarm cable like this, light gauge or heavy gauge wiring, and you want this much copper sticking out. You want the cut off the excess wire and have a little bit of insulation sticking out. And now the next step is insert it into the terminals like this. So you raise the terminal tabs by turning the screws to the left. And then you insert it right here. And make sure the wires are nice and snug and now we tighten it down. The screws on this pull station are a little stiff, but oh well. Well, stuff gets old and stuff happens. But this was a fairly new pull station. And now we connect the other end into the zone where you want it. And remember, zone 1 has the positive on the left, the negative on the right, with the B plus and B minus terminals. And there's not too much to worry about with zones, guys. The zones don't have any polarity whatsoever. So we're going to insert it through here. And then what you want to do is take a small screwdriver with a tiny bit that will fit this flathead terminal, and then you loosen it up a little bit. And I know the resistors are already installed, but we loosen it up a little bit. And we have to insert, and I just dropped the resistor down there. Let me get it real quick. And then the thing with the resistor is it's supposed to be on the pull station where it's supposed to go, but if you don't have the resistor on here or on the pull station, it's going to cause a trouble. Hang on a sec. Let me get this wire. Sometimes these wires can be a really big pain to get inside the terminal tabs and stuff like that. But once you get it in there, it'll be ready to go. There we go. Now it's plugged into the zone. And now we tighten it down. And this will show you guys how to do the zone and wiring the correct way. And this resistor right here, I know it's very tiny, but the resistor is supposed to go right here. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up real quick and insert the resistor. Get a bigger screwdriver. And my cat's getting in the way. And now we plug in the resistor. When I plug it in, the zone will see a resistor. Actually, the resistor is a little bit too short, but hopefully this pull station will see a resistor on the zone, so that way the zone won't get into trouble. Okay, now we have our pull station wired up to the zone. Next, we're going to do our smoke detector. And next step is we're going to strip this wire down and we're going to wire it up. But first we're going to cut this wire in half because we don't need that much wire. And next, we strip the installation off the wire so you have a little bit of copper, like about an inch. Because you have to have 2 wires for the zone and 2 wires for the relay, which we need to wire up the smoke detector to that. If you don't have the relay, then the smoke detector is not going to work. And next, we're going to strip another wire. And I know, guys, this video is going to be turning out pretty long, but hopefully I can go through step by step and how to wire it up for you guys, okay? Get this access off. Hopefully I can cut it because we don't need it there. Okay, now the other end. And you can always fast forward the video if you guys wanted to, if you want to see me insert the wire into these terminals right here. Is the camera still recording? Yes, it is. Okay, got the pull station wired up, and now we're going to insert the wires into the smoke detector. So the the middle terminal is your negative, and your terminal, second terminal on going from the right here, this is your positive. So we're going to go ahead and insert these wires in there. And then the other end of this wire is going to connect to the zone, and these two terminals are going to connect to the relay, which is right here. So that's what we're going to do. But I want to take the resistor from zone 2 and insert it in the smoke detector. And your resistor goes here. If I can insert it in there. There we go. Everything seems to be nice and snug, and now we're going to tighten it down. And then you connect this wire, and it goes through this to connect to the zone. So we're connecting this on zone 2. And we're gonna insert it into the terminals right here. Sorry, this is getting a little bit difficult to do, but now we're trying to get this thing in the terminals where it's supposed to go. Okay, there we go. Now it's in. And now we tighten it down. And now the other wire that connects to the relay, we're going to be using the same cable. So the voltage is nothing too much to worry about with the zones, because the zones don't have any polarity again. So the trick is to do is stick the red wire in the normally open and the black wire to the common. So I know which wire is which to connect to the relay. Switch screwdrivers. Alright, now we tighten it down. Okay. And now we connect. Your first terminal on the relay is your normally open, and your third terminal is your common. So let's take these relays off so we can see which is which. Yep, that's the normally open. And oh, here's the relay. I just dropped it. It's better to do this so you know what you're doing and stuff like that. And yeah, I know guys, this video is going to be pretty long. But I'm showing you a very simple task, how to wire up your own fire alarm system. Okay, plug the relay back in. Okay, and the next step is, when all the wiring is complete, you put your smoke detector head on. And the smoke detector is complete. Got the pull station and smoke detector. And the camera's still recording good. And the last thing we're gonna wire up is the fire alarm itself. So anyways, let's go ahead and wire it up. So we're gonna wire up the Spectre alert. And then we insert our wires in here. In these two terminals down here. Hang on a sec, guys. Wires on the Spectre alert are coming loose for some reason, but let me open up these terminals a little more so it gives me a little more room to lay the wire in. And then we take a resistor and insert it into the alarm. It's better to have the resistors on the devices instead of on the actual panel. And you gotta make sure these wires are screwed down nice and snug. Actually, these wires just came loose. Actually, I'll insert these wires in here instead. But I gotta make sure these wires don't touch. Okay, now we're gonna wire up the device, and I already put the resistor right here, and we're gonna put these wires right here to match the colors, right here. See if you can see that on the camera. You can. So we're gonna insert these wires right here. And then, now, we're gonna take the other end of the cable and insert it into the NAC that you want it in. And remember, left is positive, right is negative on each of the NACs. So we're gonna go ahead and install the wire into the lug nuts. Actually, it's screw terminals, not lug nuts. Oops. Oh man. Hang on. Get these wires in there. Hang on, let me unplug this NAC. See if I can get the wires in there really easily. Make sure these wires don't touch. And now we tighten them down like this. And now we plug the terminal in. And now the job is complete. Now we have, let me zoom out. We have a pull station, smoke detector, and an actual fire alarm plugged in to the system. And now we're gonna go ahead and power up the panel, but you gotta make sure, double check all of your connections are good, and everything looks good to me. And now we're gonna take our power cord and we're gonna plug it into power. So let me untangle it first so we can plug it into power. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we power it up and wire it right. Make sure nothing starts on fire or starts smoking. Here we go. All right, we're good. That was weird. Okay, sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. What happened was I accidentally hooked the alarm over here, and that was zone 10, and I didn't realize the NAC was over here. So now I have it wired up correctly. The next step that we're going to do is install apply power to the panel. So anyways, let's plug our AC power in and see what we got. And let's zoom in, and we got a trouble. So we're going to go ahead and not acknowledge that. I don't know if you could see on the screen, but we have a battery trouble. But we're going to go ahead and fix that because I do have some batteries that I can install. Let me go get those real quick. And the batteries are already wired in a series, so we're going to put the batteries right here, and then we're going to go ahead and plug them in. And remember, your red goes to red, your black goes to black. Whoops, I don't want to short anything out, otherwise what basically the batteries are for is when the power goes out, the fire alarm system has backup electricity. Okay, now the batteries are plugged in. So your fire system is fully ready to go. So the system is reading normal. We have the pull station, smoke detector, and the fire alarm itself. And now I want to program this. So the next thing I want to do before I program this thing is we're going to point the camera at the screen. So we're going to go into program. So the first thing you want to do is program it. The thing is you hit mode, which is the menu. Number 2, programming. And your passcode, 00000. And then you select NACS. This is a system center device, and I want to set this for system center sync. So I'm going to select the NAC that the thing is on. And then you push 4 for NAC 4. And then you go to coding, which is number 2. So we got steady, March time, California code, and we got temporal, which is code 3. 2-stage, 3 minutes, and 2-stage, 5 minutes. We got system sensor, Wheelock, Gentex, Faraday, and Amsico sync. So this thing has a lot of synchronization options. I want to go with system sensor because that's the device that we're going to be using. And I want to go to silence, and I want to push 3 for mute sync. And then you can go ahead and save the options by hitting the reset button. And that's basically all it is. Okay, now everything is complete and fully ready to go. Power supply is wired, the batteries are wired, pull station, smoke detector, and the actual fire alarm. And the smoke detector green LED is flashing, believe it or not. But now we are ready for testing. So first thing we're going to do is test the pull station. Here we go. Acknowledge and silence. As you could see by the system sensor sync feature that's built in this panel, you could see the horn has stopped and it's silenced and the strobe stays flashing. That's very simple on 2-wire devices and 4-wire devices, but the Spectral or Classic horn strobe is a 4-wire device, guys, so this is how you test your fire alarm system, basically. And now we're going to go ahead and reset the pull station, so we're going to go ahead and use our firelight key that's already inserted. Once the pull station is reset, now we can go ahead and hit reset. And that completes zone 1. And now we're going to go ahead and test zone 2, which is that smoke detector right there. And I don't know if you could see it, but the green light is flashing. But when I push the button on the test switch on the smoke detector, the light turns red and then the alarm starts sounding. So let's go ahead and do that. Test zone 2.
Right.
Make sure that's working. Acknowledge. Okay, now the strobe stays flashing, and that's what we want right there, guys. So, as you can tell, the strobe is still flashing as it's supposed to because it's on system sensor sync. And also, you could tell that the smoke detector is activated on zone 2, but the zones are not named yet, so those are still blank. But when you're testing the fire alarm system, guys, make sure when you're testing pull stations, make sure you reset the pull station afterwards, because if you don't reset the pull station and if you go reset the panel, it's gonna go back into the fire alarm cycle, and that's what you don't want. Okay? And now let's reset the system. And okay, that completes the job. Okay, guys, that was a great tutorial video. I hope you liked it, and I'm very glad that I made this video for you guys, a long overdue video to make with you guys, and now I'm going to go ahead and disassemble this system, clean all this up, and then when I get off the camera. So anyways, guys, now that's how you wire up a fire alarm system and test it, and guess what? When the testing is done, the job is complete. So anyways, thank you all so much. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe to the channel. And a big shout out to Safety Security Alert that made a similar video just like this one, except I use a Notifier panel instead of a Firelight one. But anyways, trying to show you a simple way how to use this panel, even though some people think it's hard, but it's really not that hard, but it's actually super easy to do. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed it, and that'll be it. See you guys later.